Today, I'm gonna pick on the Nikon Z7II. Hello everybody and welcome to the Summit Bid Gallery. So I have made several recent videos all about the Nikon Z7II and why I really love it, why I switched to it. I would definitely recommend that you check those out first because there's definitely way more that I love about this camera than that I don't like. But I also felt it was only fair to kind of share some of my opinions of things that I kind of wish were different, little nitpicks, if you will, on this camera. Now, this isn't gonna talk about like some of the more talked about big issues with it. Like, I don't know, like a lot of people feel like the autofocus isn't quite up to Canon and Sony's standards and you know, things like that. You know, that's a little bit more of a how you're using the camera. This is kind of as a landscape photographer. These are things that like I don't care for and I wish were a little bit different. So the first thing is, it seems little, and a lot of these are gonna seem kind of little, but they do kind of affect how I use the camera. And one is that the play button is over here. Now, this is where the play button has always been on Nikon cameras, and I think the idea is that when you pull it down from the viewfinder, you press the play button with your left thumb. But the thing is that now most of the review I do of my photos, I do in the viewfinder, which is a way better experience to look at sharpness and just check the photo overall. And so what I solved this problem by placing this function 1 button to the play button. And I mean, that's great. It's a great placement for it. It's just very easy to just tap and then press OK to zoom all the way in and check your focus. So it's really fast. But it'd be nice to have the dedicated play button be over here in this cluster right here where you could just tap it and I wouldn't have to burn this button on a function that there's already a button for. So effectively I have two buttons that play the photos and it's just simply because of where they place the play button. Okay, so the next thing that I would change slash I don't like is that in continuous autofocus, when you press AF on or you half press the shutter to initiate the autofocus, nothing really changes. The box that you have, like it doesn't change color. Like you can tell that it's focusing, but it would be very nice to have it change color, just like it does in single point mode, which it's kind of funny. In single point, you know, when I press AF and it acquires autofocus, it changes to green. Why can't it do that in continuous? It just, to me, this is really a flaw of it and just makes using continuous mode kind of a little bit frustrating for me. Like, and Sony actually lets you choose the color of your focus point for, you know, various applications, and I honestly would like to see that implemented in Nikon too. There's so much that's customizable about this camera. I feel like that would be great, but just having it change color at all, just like in single point where when it acquires focus and is holding focus, it will change color. It just would make that mode easier to use for me. This next one's kind of a well-known issue with the Nikon Z cameras for landscape photographers, and that's that in it doesn't show depth of field preview past 5.6, f5.6, without having to press the depth of field preview button. And this is just kind of, I have no idea why it's this way in Nikon cameras. It means that like when you zoom in to press focus, to check focus all over your frame, it's actually kind of hard to have it zoomed in and check focus, which is, it's just ridiculous. What is even weirder is that in video mode, it does automatically display the depth of field preview. So it's not like the camera can't. It's not like there's some feature. I'm guessing that it has something to do with the autofocus or just saving processing power, or I don't know. I don't know the reason why if you stop down to you know, 6.3, 8, 11, anything like that, which as a landscape photographer, I'm in a decent amount of time. I don't get to see that just previewed on the back screen and in the viewfinder. I have to burn a button again on previewing the depth of field, when I feel like in the mirrorless age, this is a feature that we, you know, with the exposure preview and everything else just automatic in the screen and in the viewfinder, that this is something that Nikon really needs to fix. You know, people have been calling for it since the Z7I and Z6I were released, and they still haven't fixed it yet. So it would be really nice if Nikon would get on that. The next one is a little issue with the body, and I mentioned this in my other video, but the memory card slots are way too easy to bump open, way too easy. They just need a little clip or a little lock that you just undo and then pull it open, so you never ever bump this open, because this is such a weather sealed camera, such a durable camera, and the fact that you can just, as you're pulling it out of your bag, if you're not paying attention, just pop it open and compromise all that great weather sealing is ridiculous. They really, really need to fix this. If they fixed one thing and I talk about in this video, then that would be it, because I just don't want to open up my camera bag and have this popped open, just lying there popped open. One last tiny little thing, and this one's the smallest one, but it's just kind of a pain and kind of feels unnecessary. In the U1, U2, and U3 modes on the top of the camera, this camera allows you to change more things than I've ever seen in any camera. Custom buttons, just kind of everything. You can make a whole new camera, except for one weird, ridiculous thing. If you set your mode, the continuous mode is persistent. So like, let's say I'm shooting in manual mode, and I'm in just, you know, shooting landscapes in manual mode, and I have it just in single shot, right? But I switch to U3, which would be maybe my wildlife mode, because I see a bird or there's something that I want to photograph that need a continuous shutter. I have to not just change the setting to U3, which would be great. I actually have to click this and then change it to continuous low or continuous high. Why? I don't understand why I can't just have this in my custom modes, where it's just one click, I'm ready to go, I can shoot continuously. This feels like just a dumb oversight in my opinion, but it's something that Nikon needs to fix, can fix, and yeah, would be really great and make this camera a little more user-friendly. So those are just, you know, the biggest issues that I have with this camera. And again, there's way more that I like about it than that I dislike, and I highly recommend that you check out the other two Nikon Z7II videos that I just released. One is just all about kind of my thinking and my reasons for using this camera, and then the other one is about this one versus the Z7I. So if you like this video or found it helpful, hit the like button. And if you want more content like this, hit subscribe, and we'll see you on the next adventure.